It's DraftKings Best Ball Week, 20 rounds, full PPR bonuses for 100 rushing yards, 100 receiving yards, 300 passing yards, 20 rounds, a brand new experience. I'm joined by Neil Orfield today to find $1 million shipper for DraftKings Best Ball Week. It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King Summer. All right, Mr. Neil Orfield, first of all, thank you for sacrificing a little bit of your time to come over and hang out with me and draft a DraftKings Best Ball draft. And let's just go ahead and start very simply. Let's say this is our beautiful viewer who we love and thank very much for being here. This is their very first time watching a DraftKings Best Ball draft, thinking about drafting for Best Ball Week. What do they basically need to know if they're familiar with the concept of Best Ball?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here. So we're assuming that they're maybe coming from other sites. They've played some Best Ball, so like they're familiar with the Best Ball concept. Yes. All right, DraftKings is chaos. These drafts, like you will see players that, have an ADP of 13 fall to pick 22. Like you'll see some crazy falls. Maybe that's not the best example because maybe not as much in the first round or the second round, but in general, you're going to see ADP is way more all over the place on DraftKings. I think you laid out the scoring nicely. Like it's full PPR. You get bonuses for 100 yards receiving, rushing, 300 passing. Trying to think if there are any other differences in the scoring, but those are the big ones. It's 20 rounds, so you get 20 players, which
like drafting in the big board, basically. Yeah.
I think the one thing that I would say people really need to look out for if they've never drafted here before is quarterback runs. Like you just have suddenly quarterbacks start going like after pick 100 and it'll be, way before ADP. People are just like getting nervous about not getting a quarterback and you'll see all the quarterbacks just run off the board. So you just really need to keep an eye on the quarterbacks, make sure that you're able to get at least 2, oftentimes 3.
I think that is very good advice. Probably the best advice is don't go crying if you get your quarterback stolen. We have been very clear. We told you your quarterback is going to get taken. And I think it's pretty self-evident why that is true, which is DraftKings user base is massive. There are a lot of users on DraftKings. There are way more users than FanDuel, than Underdog, than name a competitor, name a place that you play best ball leagues on Sleeper, whatever. Way more people on DraftKings. So you just have a wider array of people who are in. I believe the data shows that DraftKings has way more people who just enter like 1 or 2 DraftKings Best Ball, the Millionaire Tournament, $2 million to first. You get if you enter once, you get another ticket for free. And then when you, viewer, are watching this, Neil and I are pre-recording this, but when you guys are watching it, there is DraftKings Best Ball Week. So I assume that is going to be absolutely, that's going to be crazy, right? Yeah. I mean, the streets are going to be flowing. So just don't complain. Don't get mad, and just understand that's the way that it is. And it looks like our room just filled.
Oh, and it's 2 minutes to fill. That's one other difference is it's 2 minutes once you get in.
2 minutes to fill. How are you thinking about roster construction? Because I kind of think there basically is like one way to do. Honestly, like I build 90% of my teams one way, but I am curious if you feel the same.
I'm guessing that you do 3, 6, 8, 3.
Yes, yeah. 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 8 wide receivers, 3 tight ends. Our mutual friend, Tom Strachan, who runs the YouTube channel, the FF Sanctuary, he's overseas, so he has only ever been able to draft best ball teams on DraftKings, or at least for the last year that has been the case. And so he's done a bunch of research and data and everything on these. And basically he found that, like, yes, it's a huge proportion of the pool, but it's also a huge proportion of, the advance rates in the field. And I actually have to go and find our entry because I think our
should just click draft now right on any of them you have going on. If you click draft now, then you'll see like the fast draft.
Beautiful.
Oh, you're on the clock in a lot. Okay, this is more
Um,
chaotic than mine.
It should be. Oh, I just see
They're
the
fast.
tab. There you go. See the tab that says fast. All right, that's actually nice and easy. So there you go. You guys just got a little bit of real insight as to how to navigate around the draft board. So I have the Sidekick pulled up. I have the Draft Capital buckets here from the Draft Caddy. That is not going to show on your guys's screen. Yeah, but are you doing mostly 3-6-8-3?
I mean, my guess is that will end up being my most common construction. I wouldn't say that that's like going to be more than 50% of my portfolio overall. Maybe it will be, but I do some like weird stuff. 3-7-7-3. Even as you guys talked about on the Swolecast today, when the question was, "What is your favorite of the like weird constructions?" I've done 3-8-6-3, which is kind of what
Yes.
your answer was. Because on DraftKings you can, with the 20 rounds and with it being full PPR, I kind of think zero RB is even more interesting on DraftKings, and I do it everywhere. But because of the 20, like I said, 20 rounds full PPR, like you can really build out 8 bets on running backs that are, have a wide range of outcomes.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about DraftKings Millionaire Maker best ball scoring, and say, do you care about Lamb Gibbs? I mean, it's basically the same, whichever one.
I don't really care. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
I'm happy
do.
with
You know
one.
what? Let's try and do a little bit of a true zero running back, depending on how it falls. So let's take Lamb there.
Yeah.
If you think about, DraftKings scoring, like, oh, I'm going to go build my roster in the Millionaire Maker for week 3, salary cap DFS. Yeah, you probably are taking McCaffrey or Barkley like some chunk of the time, but way less often than you're taking Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, and these guys. Like, just go look at historical ownerships of the best players who play salary cap DFS, and they're going to have high-end wide receivers way more often than they're going to have the high-end running backs. Why? The high-end running back scores in full PPR are just way more replaceable. Like, Brian
Yeah.
Robinson Jr. can go out and get 21, but De'Ami Brown can't get 33 the way Justin Jefferson can. So I do prefer by quite a bit starting with wide receivers in round 1, like not unilaterally. Like obviously I don't have a stone fade on any of these guys, but I do like the way my teams look better with wide receiver early.
Yeah, I do too. And like to your point, like you also can get in your example, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, or one of those guys who's like undrafted in a lot of these drafts could be the guy that you need late, or Jarquez Hunter, or name any of these 18 through 20 round running backs, like can replicate the scores of the early running backs if things fall right, where the starter gets hurt, they become the guy who's going to get the workload. So zero RB is just it's kind of the it's the reasoning that we have for one of the reasons that we do zero RB in general. But on DraftKings, where it's 20 rounds, like you just have more shots at some of those guys. You don't need to get them all right. You just need to get a couple of them to really smash.
I don't have a good explanation for this. This is more just like DraftKings is an alternate universe as it comes to drafting. But like I just keep scrolling and I'm like, yeah, Trevor Etienne's probably draftable.
Yeah.
Kendre Miller's probably draftable. Like I just, I'm down in the 350s and I'm like, I might take Emmanuel Wilson, and then I look at the wide receivers and I'm like, well, yeah, Ioman or Slayton, but like, am I taking Mike Williams? Am I taking this would probably
Jermaine
be my
Burton.
line
Jermaine Burton's a
right
pretty
here.
good. I think
Yeah.
Jermaine Burton's a strong bet in 20 round drafts.
Yeah. Okay. Let me increase the size of the sidekick here so you can see it. I know that you are also a sidekick drafter. I tell you what, I use the sidekick a lot on DraftKings because 90% of my drafts on DraftKings are slows, and you guys just saw how many I'm on the clock on. Like sometimes that can get a little bit overwhelming. So it is nice to just be like, okay, well, I can go and fire all of these if need be. All right, we have Lamb. I mean, I have Bowers very high in my rankings.
Oh, yes.
I would prefer Bowers
I
by
love
quite a
Bowers
bit here.
I'm all about Bowers here. Yeah. Bowers is someone that I move up to the 1-2 turn frequently on DraftKings, just because, as you talked about today on ship chasing or ADP chasing, he could be targeted 200 times. Like it would be surprising, but not shocking. Like at the tight end position, if you can just separate on a full PPR site, just separate in terms of receptions. I mean, Bowers could be a smash.
Yes. Like Bowers was third in the NFL in receptions last year, and a lot of the reasons for taking him like in high stakes leagues, like we took Bowers at the 103 in our FFPC main event, right? that stuff applies to Bowers in full PPR in a way that to me is just not at all priced in here. Like DraftKings drafters should be taking Bowers. He should be considered to me in the same range with Puka and St. Brown and Nico Collins and Brian Thomas Jr. Like, dude, I think like truth serum, I'm having a conversation, with a higher power, and they're like, who would you take? You can only have one team on DraftKings. You can have Nico Collins or you can have Brock Bowers. I think I'm going Brock Bowers, like true truth serum.
You only get one team. Yeah, get your guys.
You only get one team. And I need to. There is a way to pull up the draft board, but
here's my only hesitation with Bowers is Trey McBride can fall sometimes to like the late third round, and I think the bet is also really strong on Trey McBride. So that's the one thing. It's like, can I push this? So if I don't take Bowers here, can I get Trey McBride at a real discount in the next round? But I usually will just take Bowers if he falls to me.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So we have Lamb and Bowers, and again, and I guess a kind of interesting thing about drafting on DK is the quarterback ADPs are all like a smidgen higher, right? Like Jaden Daniels is 38, not 42, and Jalen Hurts is 44, not 48, and Joe Burrow. That's got to be the biggest delta. Has got to be Burrow at 45 to Burrow in the 70s, which is
Burrow's been moving down on the other sites, but not moving here at all. But the elite quarterbacks I actually think are really good on DraftKings, and I think like the sims, the sidekick sims will show you that. All right, I don't hate going after your hero from last year, Chase Brown. If you like him,
this is like a little bit of ADP value, but more. I got to tell you, this is probably kind of boomer of me, Neil. So maybe you'll appreciate this. There's just something quite nice about having an elite running back, an elite wide receiver, and an elite tight end. Just you don't feel stretched positionally anywhere. Yeah. And we basically could just take whoever we want for the rest of the time. We don't have to feel pressed at all.
We did say that we were going to go true zero RB, and then we broke that in the third round. That's my bad. I suggested Chase Brown, but no, I'm with you. I also think that there is outside of just being a boomer, I think there's merit to it just in building balanced allows you more flexibility later on. So like if you take two quarterbacks early on, take two elite quarterbacks, and then you get a big fall on my guy, JJ McCarthy, you get him to fall to, pick 155. Then you're like, I don't know if you really make sense on this team. Whereas if you leave yourself a little bit more flexibility by kind of spreading out your players to different positions early, then you can kind of take any of that ADP value and feel pretty good about it. So I actually think it makes a lot of sense.
For sure. I'm trying to see if there's anything interesting happening in this particular draft to highlight people to the chaos.
3 running backs at pick 11.
All like well within positional stuff, but yes, you will see you see a 3 running back start. Really, honestly, that's so anachronistic. That just does not. No one does that anymore. Everyone understands that the name of the game is trying to hit on one of these high upside wide receivers. I would say if that drafter in the 11 hole who did just take Mike Evans as their wide receiver 1, if they commit to the bit and they rip off 7 straight pass catchers here and are able to get a good, he's got Genty, so he could take Geno. He's got A-Chain, so he can take Tua. The price on Baker is not going to be that nice. He could. No. I'm going to guess he will not commit to the bit, and I'm going to guess that he will pretty clearly make a mistake here. But you never know.
You can make it work.
That's a bit rich for Amari and Hampton for me. I mean, you guys can see the diversity of roster construction. Like it's pretty interesting. Like how often are our teams on Underdog ever taking 1 wide receiver through 4? It's never happening.
Yeah, fairly rare.
This is probably a slam dunk Tet McMillan pick.
I like the Tet McMillan pick because he should be big on volume this year. And he's somebody that is pretty easy to get pretty late on DraftKings. He has a later. I get him at like pick 50 sometimes. I will say so. Elite quarterbacks, I think because all the other quarterbacks get pushed up more, elite quarterbacks, like because they're then closer to the mid-range quarterbacks, are actually more valuable on DraftKings is what you see often in the sidekick sims, which is pretty interesting because it's kind of counterintuitive because they're not catching passes, they don't get the PPR points, but because the other quarterbacks get pushed up so much, then the elite quarterbacks are like, well, relative, like you only it's Joe Burrow only going 2 rounds later than Josh Allen, like, sure, give me Josh Allen in that case. But Joe Burrow, not even the best example. Just all of the mid-range quarterbacks get pushed up, and you get some nice.
Well, their absolute ceilings are higher because you get an extra 3 points for the 300-yard bonus, and elite quarterbacks are going to get that at a much higher clip. Particularly like Allen and Daniels are drawing like so live for that, and Lamar and Daniels are both drawing pretty live for the 100-yard rushing bonus, as well. But the bigger reason, and I think this is why Sims are going to pick up on. Look at these prices on Justin Herbert, Drake May, CJ Stroud at 126. I got CJ Stroud at 150 in a draft today. Tua's priced way up. Bryce is priced way up. Aaron Rodgers, 167.8 overall. Like Russell Wilson gets drafted a huge chunk of the time. So every time you're taking one of those elite quarterbacks, you are pressing yourself into a much nicer spot where like, oh, I'm going to take Isaac Urendo instead of Aaron Rodgers at this click right here. So we are CeeDee Lamb, Brock Bowers, Chase Brown, Ted McMillan through 4 picks. How are you thinking about this one draft capital wise?
I'm loving it. I think this is perfect. I like doing so like I said, I like doing zero RB, but I also like doing anchor RB. I think it also makes a lot of sense just to have one running back that you can count on to get, 10, 15 points every week. You're not going to be hurting at the beginning of the season and trying to catch up. So having Chase Brown in there makes me feel pretty good about just attacking late running backs with many of our picks. We did miss out on all of the elite quarterbacks. I've gotten, we have pick 54. I've gotten Jalen Hurts to fall there. I've actually gotten Jaden Daniels to fall there once, but like Jalen Hurts falls there all the time. So we're not going to get one of the elite quarterbacks, but honestly, I'm okay with it. We're looking pretty good.
Yeah. We also missed on Worthy and on Jameson Williams, which would have been my preferred, which again, because you just get these really wide discrepancies in how often and where guys get picked, that sometimes you can just get these comments. That's another good piece of general advice, is a lot of the times when you enter into a DK room, let the room tell you what you want to draft. I think we take Jennings here, Godwin, or I actually love Kamara. Or I would be fine with Flowers, which is what the sidekick wants, but up to you.
I would be fine. If you love Kamara, we can do Kamara. I would also, actually, Calvin Ridley would have been fine with me, but yeah, I'm fine with Kamara.
You know what? Let's do Ridley. I said we were going to draft a 0 running back team. Let's take Calvin Ridley. We can turn this into a hero running back team. But a little bit back to that point, because the bands of where players go are so wide. It's kind of like, you know what it's kind of like to me, drafting on DraftKings is kind of like playing No Limit Hold'em, or sometimes you just kind of like tournament No Limit Hold'em, where you can't force your will on the room. You can't force your will on the table. Like sometimes you just have to take, if you got to scoop up the blinds for a couple orbits because everyone's playing tight, then sure. If everyone's like, firing loose, then you just take, you sit there and wait to hit, top pair, top kicker, and you take your money. And because weird stuff is going to happen, you will have these drafts with like 60 spots of like real time closing line value, in a draft, like just like wild stuff.
Also, you don't know the players, so like you're saying, it's like you're playing in a tournament where a lot of the time, on DraftKings, you're playing with 11 people that you have no idea who they are going into the draft. Whereas on other sites, you might recognize a lot of the names. On DraftKings, it's like I don't, and sometimes you will, obviously, but a lot of the time, like this one, I don't think I know any of the people in this draft with this. One of the benefits also of doing a non-stream draft. Yeah, it's fun, and you do have to kind of read the room as you're going. I want to just part of the reason that I suggested Ridley is we're a little bit safer than usual at quarterback because we have Geno Smith as a back option, we have Bryce,
Ward,
and now we have Ward also. So we're kind of setting ourselves up to, like, we don't have to panic at quarterback too early.
No, that's huge, because again, your guys are just going to kind of go in a random order in a way like, oh, I'm going to plan on taking Ward and then Ward's gone. Like I'm huge on that in DraftKings drafts. It's just like keeping as much quarterback optionality as possible. That being said, I think we definitely should take RJ Harvey here. I think there's like a pretty big gap at running back. Like I think Harvey to Montgomery to Caleb John. I mean, I think that is like that might be like a tier and a half break, actually.
On a full PPR site where he is going to be in the Denver offense, should see a ton of targets. Yeah, I don't dislike that. I thought you were like the biggest Kaleb Johnson bull I know, though.
Oh, I'm a big Kaleb Johnson bull, but Kaleb Johnson is, what's the right way to explain it? Kaleb Johnson is sort of special in a way that doesn't necessarily mean that he is like a super high single game ceiling. So, I mean, I think it's pretty, maybe even likely that he racks up like 240 touches as a rookie. But I think he's probably going to average like 4.2 yards per carry and might have he might have a breakaway rate of 18%. You know, he might have 9 20-yard runs. Kind of, you know what he is? Kind of Kyron-y, not in the same way. Like Kyron's more of like a chunk runner, but he's not going to have 11 rush, 88 yards and a touchdown in a game.
Is he? I mean, isn't that just Najee Harris?
He's better than Najee because he breaks tackles. Najee was not nearly as much of a tackle breaker, and he's more fluid of an athlete than that. But I mean, he ran a 4.58. Like he was not nearly as fast as I thought he was from his Iowa stuff. And honestly, rookie year Najee at these prices, layup. I mean, truly,
yeah,
like an absolute layup. So I and part of that is just like believing like if it was going to happen for Jaylen Warren, it probably would have happened. Like we're on year 5 of the Jaylen Warren experience. Like I think we're good writing him off as.
Is it really year 5 already for Jaylen Warren? Jesus.
I mean, let me fact check myself, but
we're on the clock. We are on the clock.
All right.
Pollard. We've already taken 2 running
Reed,
backs.
Golden. Let's go. Reed or Golden or Diggs.
Ooh, I don't hate Golden or Diggs would be my picks probably.
Let's go. Golden is like that's like my he's kind of my Xavier Worthy this year, which is pretty funny because they were college. I guess they weren't college teammates. It's only year 4.
Okay.
On Jaylen Warren. So
he does have Aaron Rodgers now, which could mean more like dump offs finally.
Could.
Theoretically.
I mean, Rodgers is a big dump off guy. I mean, and historically, it's funny. Like Arthur Smith teams have been pretty consistent about having a lead guy, other than Bijan's rookie year, which is very funny.
That is funny.
But Kaleb, I think, is like an adequate, fine pass catcher. I mean, I think Warren's definitely better. But Rodgers teams have had I guess what's interesting is Rodgers teams have, until the Brees thing, I mean, there's been a huge split. Like Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
Like if you go way back, I'm gonna forget a bunch of the names, but basically it would be Brees. Like, yeah,
like Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis both like got in there a fair amount.
Yeah. Josh Downs went at 88, who would have been
I would have liked
really strong pick for us. Egbuka or Ayuk, actually pretty interesting for this team because we already have the 5 or the 4 wide receivers and we need a 5th, but we don't necessarily need week 1 points. Pollard's still there. I think this guy's this guy took Kaleb Johnson. What are you thinking here?
I would probably say Egbuka over Ayuk. I think I'm just a little bit nervous about Ayuk's timeline. Egbuka should at least be something early on.
I mean, I'm happy to do that. And
also, Ayuk is pretty likely on DraftKings to make it back to us in the next round.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if we want him on this team now, but
I have not updated my ranks in like 4 or 5 days over on DraftKings, but Emeka, Egbuka, and Golden are like my 2 favorite picks in fantasy this year. Like just like basically round 7, round 8, sometimes round 9. I've actually been looking at like seasonal, like, you know, Sleeper and CBS and Yahoo ADP. It's like if you wanted to, you could just get those guys in your home league. Like if you ran it 1,000 times, you could get them every time. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure Emeka, Egbuka, or Golden are going to be one of those guys. Is going to be the story of the season. I don't know which one. And it feels like these first round wide receivers, like it's going after Jacoby Myers, like what? I don't know. It just feels like I'm taking crazy pills.
Yeah, it's a little Now, if you click out of this screen, Davis, and show the players, you can see there's a big Q tag next to brand names. That's another thing to know about DraftKings
Oh, the
is
Q
those Q
tag.
tags can really like get people to fall a little bit. You can see players fall in. People see it, they get scared off.
That's so real, and be very aware of that. All right, we are up. I mean, I think Dak probably with CD. I think
Yeah,
he can do it
that
right.
makes sense. Yeah.
Which like, it's a little bit that was like a smidgen before ADP. I would promise you guys, if you're doing this at home, like look at that. Herbert gets ripped off right after. Jared Goff went at 8-1. Bo Nix went at 76. Like
It's nuts.
when you're in a position when the quarterback makes sense for your team, it's a stack. It's within a range at ADP. You're within ADP by a round or whatever. I would encourage you. On Underdog we talk about pushing it. You push Joe Burrow around to that 6-7. I would tell you the opposite of that. I would tell you to play it much safer.
Yep. Get your guy because you don't want to fall for that trap. Now we do have the 3 options that we could take later, but now we're in a really good
But now
spot
we're
quarterback
freed up.
wise.
Now, if like, it could be a potential disaster if someone decided Cam Ward was the 12th round pick. But
Right.
now we don't really care. And I actually, on these 20 round sites, I do a lot of Jackson Dart. I do a lot of Tyler Shuck. I do a lot of Anthony Richardson, even because I'm like, yeah, like I kind of just need the theoretical points here. And I've got an extra roster spot. The starting lineup requirements are the same: quarterback, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, tight end, and a flex. So it's easy money. And I think a running back that we like don't hate. I'll tell you, I hate this range actually. This is like the most.
Jordan Mason's my guy. I mean, on DraftKings, not as good because it's full
Yes.
PPR and he doesn't really catch passes, but
yes. Yeah, Jordan Mason is fine. Honestly, actually, on this team, Najee, I know we all hate Najee, but he's actually not horrible. Scatterboo is like fine, but this is a brutal range. Well, we're gonna get him anyways. We're gonna get your boy Jordan Mason.
do it. Love it.
It feels like, you know what? I had this thought today. Is Jordan Mason? Is it actually like too perfect? Does it line up too well? Like, oh, he's young, he's efficient. He was 6th in the NFL in explosive run rate last year. The Vikings didn't have any picks, but they traded for him. Aaron Jones is 30.
Massively improved offensive line.
Massively improved offensive line. KOC designs this great running game. They got efficiency out of freaking Cam Akers. Like, it makes so much sense. You know who it reminds me of? And this is probably before your time, like really seriously playing fantasy football. Do you remember when Peyton Hillis was the running back 2 with Jamal Charles for the Chiefs? He was like a 6th round pick in fantasy. Everyone was like, "Oh my god!" And he had like 400 yards. Like,
I want to correct the record just about my. I've been a very serious fantasy football player for a long time. I just don't have a good memory. You have like a trap of a memory. I just don't remember anything.
He had 371 yards. Correcting my prior mistake. Yeah. Well, ask my wife if I have a great memory, Neil.
For football, you do. For football, you definitely do.
I think she would beg to differ with you.
I did think you got screwed on the scoring on the Swolecast here, by the way.
Absolutely. It was.
I was impressed, and he didn't give it to you.
No, terrible. All right, we've got a 1-3-5-1. I would be thinking about a second tight end here more than about quarterback, like Tucker Kraft, Loveland, Rachaad White. I actually hate. This is not a good range for wide receivers.
I'd be good with Tucker Kraft.
Yeah, interesting. The sidekick does not agree with us.
Yeah.
And you know what we're gonna say? Sacrilegious and Crane and Shady.
What do you guys know?
What do you guys know? What have any of you ever done or won? I think we are happy. Well, because look, now the sidekick is all quarterbacks, and it's like I don't really care about which one I get. It's all the same.
If I'm being honest with you, part of it for me is I use the sidekick and I just get bored with clicking Dallas Goedert and Bashal Tutin in every draft. And so getting Tucker Kraft to mix it up on my own, and it will mix it up for you, in some ways without doing your own thing, but sometimes I just like to live a little and get a guy that I think is the talent is better than the stats so far would suggest in Total
Yeah,
Craft.
I put my own rankings in all these tools. So any public facing tool, Sidekick, Solver, whatever, wherever you are using, if you are using any real time assistance tool, or even if you aren't, I use my own rankings on everything, because at the end of the year, if I lose, I want it to be one person's fault. I'm not pointing the finger at anyone else. They're all pointing at me. And so again, a
Jordan
great
Love's
example of how funny this is. Jordan Love goes, but then immediately after, pick 136 overall, Matt Stafford to, I bet, a team that does not have a Ram.
No.
A Ramless team.
Does the Jordan Love team have any Packers?
The Jordan Love team had no Packers.
Yeah. This is the DraftKings experience.
This is and
you have to learn to love it.
And you can try and fight it, and you can complain about it on X, the Everything app, or you can say, why don't I actually just try and take advantage of this environment? So I think we probably just take Geno here, maybe Tua, maybe Bryce. I don't really care.
Was Luther Burden still there?
Luther Burden is still there.
That's the only other one I consider. But if you want to go Geno or Bryce, I'm fine with that too.
Man, you know what? I can't. Luther Burden. It's just like, dude,
it's just so late.
It's just so late. Luther Burden at 139 overall. And if we end up with a Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck team, so be it, Neil.
We told everybody to go get your guy at quarterback, and then we're just like, no, we're not going to do it. But I mean, Luther Burden is just such a clear, like, great pick there. And we can, one of Bryce Young or Geno Smith is like 80% default to us, I think. Nope. No, down to 30%. that was quick.
Well,
then we have Cam Ward also.
So, but look at how tilted we would be if we had not taken Dak Prescott. So Dak, a little bit ahead of ADP, freed us up to do that. If we had not taken Dak, we would have had to have reached 15 spots on Geno and then probably reached another 10 spots on Cam Ward. Now we just say, really hope we get one. And we can even truly, I bet, I don't have my exposures pulled up. I would bet Dart and Shuck are not only my most drafted quarterbacks, probably just my most drafted players overall. Which I'm totally fine with. Okay, so Geno goes. So now we are saying we are
now we're nervous. Now I'm getting a little nervous.
And it is our pick, and we get Cam Ward.
Love it. All right. This went
well.
So
again, another very good idea for you, taking Calvin Ridley instead of, I wanted to take Kamara, which I guess would have left us Shuck, but taking Calvin Ridley there, knowing, being experienced in the rooms, basically set us up for being able to make that decision. And that decision got us Luther Burden as our wide receiver 6.
It feels pretty good. Feels pretty good to have Luther Burden at pick 140 on DraftKings.
Famous last words.
Yeah, for sure. I love Austin Ekeler, by the way, on DraftKings. Like, if you just look at like any projection system, Austin Ekeler's PPR projection is like he's going 15 picks. I don't know what the number is, but like way later than where he's projected for PPR points. Then obviously has contingent upside if anything were to happen to Brian Robinson. We've seen him; he's capable of taking on a full workload. He's already got the pass catching upside. So I'm a huge fan of Ekeler where he's going in these drafts.
Austin Ekeler last year led all running backs in yards per reception. Only 41 targets in 12 games, because remember, he missed some time with injury. It's just that's kind of an interesting one. Like, obviously everyone kind of knows the deal with Ekeler. Like, he's an old guy. He's definitely not going to start. I think there was even a game that Brian Robinson missed where McNichols out carried him.
Yeah.
Which is like, which does not mean Austin Ekeler is a bad pick. It just means like Ekeler probably is not going to have a 22 touch game at any point this season, which is
he's more of a floor than a ceiling, which is, as you know, you'll learn if you watch a lot of best ball drafts, like floor is pretty important in best ball as well. Man, your guy Jack Besh still sitting there. Is he still your guy? Do you still consider him your guy?
Oh yeah. I'm not relenting because of a frickin' June practice report, Neil. All right, we're up. So I think we could take a wide receiver. We could actually, you know what? I kind of like taking a running back here and then playing it risky, a quarterback. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't hate that.
You
Do
have
you
a
particularly like one
preference
of
here?
these? I'd be fine with Jaylen Wright.
I was gonna say I do like
Yeah,
Jaylen Wright. Well,
yeah,
it's
I think
actually
things are
funny.
better.
I don't like Jaylen Wright at all. I like Jaylen Wright conceptually, but Jaylen Wright in practice, someone in my Discord posted every touch that he had last year. Like they
It was
found one of
bad.
those videos.
Yeah,
I mean, bad maybe doesn't even cover it. He sort of
really?
looks like he's blind. And it's like, I do not remember him being this bad at Tennessee, which I guess, it's a little bit easier to be good at running back in college, but
Sure.
it was bad enough that I was going from I never take Ollie Gordon, I don't even think about Ollie Gordon to okay, like I am actually going to move Ollie Gordon back
I
into
feel like
the
I
mix.
draft a lot of Ollie Gordon. The sidekick likes Ollie Gordon.
Ollie Gordon was the best player in college football in 2023, and then like a completely anonymous, like 4.5 yards per carry, Kyle Monungai
Was there any
style
reason?
player.
Was he injured at all or any?
Oklahoma State went from winning the Big 12 the year before to they won one conference game in 2024, which I think is about as easy of an explanation. Like he did not play well inside of that scheme, but he also had like no chance.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. He got a DUI over the offseason. Like it did like and also the Oklahoma State's coach, I don't think you watch college football at
I
all.
don't. No.
He is like a huge goon, Mike Gundy. So I could just
Yeah.
see it just being a weird locker room. All right, we are up. We could take Rodgers, we could take Darnold, could take Miles Sanders. What are you thinking here with a 2-4-6-2?
We could do Rodgers. I'd be okay with it. After watching the whole ship chasing bit today on who Rodgers like.
You know
Now we
what?
know that he loves Roman Wilson.
There's no backstack. I overruled you there. I don't do that
Okay,
often.
that's
I
fair.
took
That's
I
fair.
took Miles Sanders. So I took Miles Sanders for two reasons. The first being our running backs in week 1 are going to be a Sean Payton rookie, the running back 2 on the Minnesota Vikings, the potential running back 4 or 3 on the Miami Dolphins, and Jaylen Wright. So
We
again,
have Chase Brown. We do have Chase Brown also.
we do have Chase Brown, but what do we think our Michael Leone week 1 projection for our running back 2 is going to be with RJ Harvey, Jordan Mason, Jaylen Wright, and Miles Sanders? Who's projected the highest?
Probably RJ Harvey would be. It's between Harvey and Mason, pretty clearly. Maybe Mason on, or sorry, maybe Harvey on DraftKings.
It
Be
might
my
be
guess.
Miles. It might be Miles Sanders.
You think so?
I think it definitely could be. There you go. There's a wild Shadur.
There you go.
At 15.12. So another reason why is I don't like any of the Rodgers backstacks. I don't really like taking Freiermuth. I don't really like Roman Wilson. I don't really like Calvin Austin. Like they're fine. But I do like Dart, Theo Johnson,
Yeah.
Shuck, Juwan Johnson, Dart, Slayton, Dart, Wandale.
Yeah.
Wandale went at 160 here. Actually, Wandale, one of those guys who's much more valuable. But if
But
I
not drafted on.
yeah, like basically like round 16, 17, Dart, Theo Johnson, Shuck, Juwan Johnson, it's probably not going to work, but it can get you out of jail.
Yeah.
You know,
And we
all
don't
right.
even need to do it. Like we don't need a third quarterback. I want a third quarterback.
I'm so committed to the bit now, but also the price difference is massive. Look at that price discrepancy: 211 ADP for Dart, 160s for Aaron Rodgers.
It's a big difference. Daniel Jones also has a lot of back stacks if we want to go with dimes.
Oh,
I
I
mean, Alec
love
Pierce,
AD
Matt
Mitchell
Mitchell.
is totally hidden.
Yeah.
All right, we are up. Do you want to take another wide receiver? Do you want to take our quarterback now?
I'd go maybe yeah, take our quarterback.
All right, take your pick.
I'd say Daniel Jones.
Bang, Daniel Jones. We have I think Alec Pierce even goes after him sometimes. I don't know if he's okay, no, he just went. So we actually probably just sniped this guy. So Daniel Jones, I went through like a 4-day experience of being like, you know what I need to do? Just need to draft Daniel Jones, right? Just like Daniel Jones, he's going to start every game for the Colts. And then I thought, Davis, what are you doing? It's absolutely unnecessary for you to ideologically commit yourself to Daniel Jones. Like Daniel Jones' best case scenario is being a little bit better than a guy who doesn't care about football in Anthony Richardson. Like Daniel Jones is not very good either. Daniel Jones just
But
got
he
let
runs
go.
a bit. I don't know.
He
I
runs a
think the
bit.
offense is good enough. Like the team is pretty good. He has strong weapons. He runs a little bit. I think he's like very much a 4% exposure blanket player for me. I'm not like trying to get a ton of Daniel Jones, but I like him as like a third quarterback. Mix him in there with your shuck, with your dart. I don't feel particularly strongly about the group.
Yeah, I agree. All right. We are about back up.
DJ Giddens on the dime stack.
DJ Giddens, I like. We're up. Can we just take Darren Waller?
Sure.
I'm a big fan of Darren Waller. What do you make, Neil? What is your take?
I've been drafting him a lot, but mostly in time box concerts, time box contests. Yeah. But like the ones that I'm talking about are like closed contests that I'm in slow drafts where it's like, oh, he's only going to be drafted in like 5% of drafts. I'm in some of those. So I really love him in those. I think he's a strong late round pick. Like he could just surprise and end up seeing a lot of targets. I don't think he is at this age and stage of his career like the yak guy that Jonnu is. So I'm not expecting him to like do what Jonnu did last year or anything like that, but I still think he could be a fine late round tight end pick. Like he was good a few years ago. Maybe he still has some of the juice. Maybe we just need a little time off.
So my take, follow me down this rabbit hole, but it's the Dolphins have a bad offensive line and Darren Waller retired because he didn't want to run block and they reached out and signed him anyway. To me, that sounds like, yeah, dude, we're going to throw you the ball. If we wanted a blocking tight end, we could go get Durham Smythe. We don't want a blocking tight end. We want Darren Waller. We're signing up. We are opting in to the Darren Waller experience,
Yeah.
And
he was also a pretty good experience.
He was terrible in 2023, and he was still 11th amongst tight ends in yards per route run.
Yeah.
Like he's not even bad. Darren Waller was like a decent player.
Yeah. He's we can go down narrative street. Like he's divorced now, like newly, his rap career not going well. I don't know if it's rap, but his music career not going well. So maybe he's just now renewed interest in football.
His ex-wife is also killing for the Los Angeles Spurs. Yeah. Yes, she is averaging the most points of her career. She's playing very well.
Good for her. She can. Have you seen the video of her chucking a t-shirt up into the stands at the basketball game? Yeah.
Yeah, she's the best. I
wish I had that cannon.
I'm actually legitimately a fan of Kelsey Plum. She's a fun player. All right, we have a 3-5-6-3. I definitely think we don't have to take AD Mitchell here because he'll probably last, but he is the most important for our build. Do you have a running back you really want to take? What do you want to do?
I'd be good with AD Mitchell. We could just do it. Sure. It'd be him or Giddens for me, probably.
Did he get taken?
No, he's.
Am I blind?
Oh yeah, he must have. I'd go Giddens. Huh.
Bang. I think I'm blind. Because it's the sidekick
I didn't
said
see him
he was
either.
there.
Yeah, I wonder if that's an error.
Oh,
he's there.
He's. Oh, does he not show up because he was in my queue?
He should show up. I don't know what just happened there.
I do not know.
Is it because you were searching by first name, but then you switched and searched by last name? I don't know. I'm at a loss. It seems like
that's opaque, and it doesn't really matter. But there he went.
Of course,
of course he went. I mean, honestly, when we win $2 million and we go back and look on that and we go, wow, dude, we almost took AD Mitchell.
Come on,
who retired mid-season instead of DJ Giddens.
Wait, he retired mid-season? What do you mean by that? Oh, this year. This year is going to. Yeah,
AD Mitchell lost the Indianapolis Colts. He literally threw an interception against the Denver Broncos that like cost them their season, and the reporters asked him about it after the game, and he laughed. He was like, "Yeah, crazy." Really? He was like, "Yeah, crazy play."
Wow, I did not see that.
Don't know how much AD Mitchell is, super into the team the team game.
It's unfortunate because he seems talented.
We're up.
I don't mind Minor or Brooks would be my picks. I like Minor as a pick because we have Cam Ward, but also Taj Brooks, also always a strong pick.
I think I've said Alec Ayomanor. I have
no idea.
I think I've said it. A million different ways.
Yeah. I switch it up. You know, you're going to be right one of those times. If you just switch it up often enough, you're eventually going to have it right.
I do that. I used to do that with A-Chain, which I don't even actually think is how it's pronounced. I actually don't think it's.
I want to say it's A-Chan. I forget all the time because it used to be people pronounce it one way and then he corrected them. And for a while, I was really good. I was like, he said he wanted like this, so I'm going to say it like that. But then everybody else says it wrong. So then at this point, I've just completely forgotten what is actually correct.
It's definitely A-Chan, but A-Chain just sounds way cooler.
Yeah, right? And that's what like also with the E on the end.
Yeah, that's my rule is I'm just going to defer to whatever sounds the coolest. So we have got a 3-6-7-3. Our quarterbacks are Dak Prescott, Cam Ward, and Daniel Jones. What do you got for me with our final pick?
I wouldn't hate Jermaine Burton here.
I would hate Jermaine Burton.
Ty Felton, round 3 rookie.
Ty Felton. Can I sell you on Elijah Moore?
Oof. Yeah, you could.
No.
What team is Elijah Moore even on?
The Bills, dude.
Okay, he's still on the Bills. Okay.
My other this other thing I'm doing right now is my current thing is I try and take one of Guerrendo or Jordan James.
Oh, I like
every
that.
time. Yeah. I don't take. So this would be a 3-7-7-3. I think with our wide receivers though, our wide receivers are CeeDee, Tet, Ridley, Luther Burden, Matthew Golden. We got Egbuka too, right?
Yep, yeah. We got Egbuka.
So I think we can afford the extra running back, and our wide receivers are a little bit weaker. So there you go. I lied. I said I did all my teams at 3-6-8-3, and I think I lied. It's a nice team. Jordan James. There we go.
I think it's strong.
I think that is strong. So we have Dak Prescott, Chase Brown, RJ Harvey, CeeDee Lamb, Ted McMillan, Calvin Ridley, Brock Bowers, Matthew Golden, Emeka Egbuka, Jordan Mason, Tucker Kraft, Luther Burden, Cam Ward, Jaylen Wright, Miles Sanders, Daniel Jones, Darren Waller, DJ Giddens, Alec Ayomanor, Jordan James. What do you think?
Love it. I think it's a strong team. I think we have really strong correlation. We've got double stacked Cam Ward, just single stack on Dak, I believe.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, we maybe could have taken Jake Ferguson, Pickens I definitely would have taken if we got to him. Where did Ferguson go in this draft? I think he went kind of early. I don't think we had any chance to take him.
Where did he go?
I guess he didn't. We could have taken Ferguson, except we had to take Cam Ward.
Yeah. We were kind of forced there.
If Ferguson would have been available at 163, I would have been happy.
Yeah.
To take him. I mean, I guess maybe we could have taken Kavonte Turpin. Oh, and we have Miles Sanders. So we did.
We've got a little correlation there.
We got the we have the primary pass catching back.
Yeah.
For the Dallas Cowboys. We got the Ward doubles. I actually think are quite sneaky.
Yeah, just bet on the whole offense. It's just like we've seen with CJ Stroud a couple years ago, just absolutely smashed. And it was like you get them all late. Like, this feels like the likeliest.
Texans stink. CJ Stroud stinks. Don't want any of these wide. And then all of a sudden, every single one of them was the guys you needed. The Texans were the most important team in fantasy that year.
Collins. Yep.
No one wants Ayomanor. No one wants Chimere Dike. No one wants Tyler Lockett. People barely want Calvin Ridley, who's like the most locked in wide receiver one.
Yeah.
There could possibly be.
You're not in on Xavier Restrepo, I take it?
No, please do not talk. It's just enough, dude. Xavier Restrepo is still running his 40.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah.
People, the Titans social media is posting him and stuff all the time. People really want him to be good. And maybe he will be, but I really don't think so, Neil.
I've drafted a few shares, not many.
20-round drafts, man.
That's right.
You can do it. Neil, what is coming on your channel for Best Ball Week?
Yeah, I'm doing a ton on Best Ball Week. I'll be streaming many hours of drafts on top of doing some shorter form videos. It's going to be busiest week of the year so far for me. mostly streaming every day of the week.
There you go. Everyone, make sure that you're checking out the best ball stuff over on Neil's channel. Make sure that you're using promo code Mattek, not Davis, promo code Mattek over on DraftKings if you're signing up for the best ball stuff there. And I'll be back with more DraftKings best ball content with you guys tomorrow.
It's Short King summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated.
Football season is right around the corner, and there's no better way to lock in your fantasy dominance early than with Best Ball on DraftKings, where you draft once and ride your roster all season long. And right now, DraftKings is giving all customers a can't-miss offer. Draft one, get one. Enter a lineup in the $15 million Best Ball contest for just $20, and you'll score another Best Ball ticket to play free for a share of $15 million, giving you a second shot to win big. It's easy. Just draft your team once, no weekly management required, and let your top scorers automatically start each week across the whole season. Every breakout star, every clutch play, every touchdown will count toward your quest for a share of $15 million. Download the DraftKings Daily Fantasy app now to draft your $20 best ball lineup to play for a share of $15 million. Get a second ticket to play free for a share of $15 million. That's 2 chances to win big without ever setting your lineup again. Draft one, get one. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in New York. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-7-89777 or visit ccpg.org. 18 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. 1 per customer. Enter the Best Ball $15 million headliner contest by 9/4/25 to get 1 bonus entry. $20 entry fee required. Reward expires in 30 days. See terms at DraftKings.com/NFL-best-ball, sponsored by DraftKings.